2005 Honda Accord. It's got a 2.4 liter. Today I'm replacing the transmission filter and I'm replacing the transmission fluid. So I got the new filter here. This is the fluid. Make sure you get the right Honda fluid, which is ATF DW1. It takes about 3 quarts to drain it, but go ahead and get 4 just in case. So jack the car up, put your jack stands right here. I already drained the fluid out. The drain plug is going to be right here. This is the drain plug. It is a 3/8 ratchet. So just pull it towards you and then let the fluid drain out. It's best if you drain it out with the car warmed up. The fluid flows out much faster. Then to replace the transmission filter, you have to remove this air box. So you have a little bracket right here. It is a Phillips head. Go ahead and take that off. Go ahead and disconnect your mass airflow sensor also. Just push in that tab and pull it out. Then you have a clip. It's clipped onto this right here. So just grab like some pliers and just pry it out. Then you'll have 8mm, 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. And then you'll have this hose hooked up right here, and that hose right here too. This one hooked up right here. That just pulls out, and you can remove the whole air box assembly. Then over here you have a 10mm, one, and another 10mm right here too. We're gonna remove this piece right here so we have a better access to that transmission filter. This fuse box too is held by 2 10mm bolts right here, 1 and 2. Go ahead and take that off. This wiring harness is hooked up to this, so just go ahead and pry that off, and you can remove this whole piece out. There's my air filter also. Air filter was sitting right here. All right, now you can move this around if you have to. Now we have better access to that transmission filter right here. It's just held on by two of these bracket or clip or whatever you call this. You just pull it towards this way, and the same for that side right there. All right, once you slide the hose clamps out of the way, this one and that one, this filter is held on by a 10mm bolt. This bracket will come off once you take that bolt. Go ahead, and that hose is going to be stuck in there, so grab something like this and just kind of twist it left to right before you remove the bracket, just to kind of break it loose, and then you can pull the hoses off. You might have some fluid leak out, so make sure you have a rag or something to catch the fluid out with. Also, this new filter, before you take out that filter, does not have an arrow telling you which direction is supposed to go in. This one looks like this is gonna be going this way, so I'm just gonna put it the way how the old one came out. It's gonna slide right into that metal bracket. See if I can zoom in right in there like that, and then you can go ahead and put your 10mm bolt right here. Make sure you slide the hose clamps back on in there, and then you're gonna go ahead and put the this piece back on in here. Put your fuse box bolts back on, and then you're gonna slide your air intake back on. Don't forget these 2 tubes right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with transmission fluid right on that. Take that dipstick out and use the funnel. Got everything put back. The air intake is in. Just double check your hoses, make sure your hoses are in place, your clamps are tight. Yeah, this is not tight. Anyway, lower the car, or before you lower the car, make sure you put your drain plug back on in there. It is 36 foot-pounds. If you do not have a torque wrench, just do not over tighten it no matter what, because if you tighten it too much, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble if you mess up that drain plug. Also replace the washer on the drain plug. Now make sure that the car is leveled down. So I took my jack off and my jack stand, so make sure you're in a flat surface, because we're gonna need to measure the transmission fluid to make sure that we have the right amount in there. Also, number one rule is whatever you drain out, however much that is, you put the same amount back in there. If you do not know how to do that, get an empty oil container. They have a little measurement on the side, so pour all that in there and just go by how much. If it's like 2.8 quarts, then you take 1, 2, and then you measure it 0.8 quarts right here. You need a longer funnel. I don't have a long funnel, so that's why I had to squeeze that in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put about 2 quarts first, and then I'm gonna measure how much fluid came out of there. All right, so we're putting in our first quart. All right, so we're putting in our first quart. When you're pouring the fluid in, just pour a little bit and just wait for it to drain out. If you overfill it, it's gonna start leaking on the side, so you need to be careful and watch out for that. All right, so the fluid that I drained out from the car, the right way to measure this one is however much you take out, you put the same amount back in. In this case, it drained out exactly 3 quarts. I had empty containers, so this is exactly 3 quarts, right on the dot. I put in about 2.5 quarts for now, because I think 3 quarts is too much, because we're still gonna need to measure it with a dipstick on a flat surface. So I put 2.5 quarts in there. What you want to do is you want to crank up the car, move it from park to reverse drive, neutral drive, the low gear. Keep doing it a few times, let the car warm up, and then let it idle for about 10 minutes, and then turn off the car. And then you're gonna need to measure the dipstick. What you want to do is stick the dipstick in, make sure that your dipstick is all the way in there flat. There's a little notch right here, make sure it's all the way in there flat, and then you pull it out, and then you wipe it off, and you do it again and pull it out. You want it to be between those 2 dots right here. You want it to be right in the middle. If it's not in the middle, if it's a little less, so add a little bit of fluid in there. If it's too much, you might have to drain out a little bit of it, because you don't want to add too much transmission fluid. That can lower the life of your transmission, and that's it. Make sure you do it in a flat, level surface. And that's it, guys. I hope this video helped you guys out. If you guys got any questions, comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Also click on the subscribe button. And again, thanks for watching.